as we said, the Cleveland Browns and how free agency will impact the draft for them, where they are as a team, as a roster right now. You mentioned at the very opening of the podcast that, when you have all this draft capital, you can play around with it. It's not all about using the picks, but now they're using the picks first and third and Jabril Peppers to go get Odell Beckham. We have the Kevin Zeitler for Olivier Vernon, essentially straight up trade. I mean, just some power moves here by the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, also Sheldon Richardson they added along their defensive line. The Kareem Hunt move was a little earlier, but also plays a role in this. Obviously, they had to give up a guard to get, they gave up Kevin Zeitler at right guard, gave up Jabril Peppers, a safety, starting safety, let go of Jamie Collins because that contract was bloated compared to his performance. That one's not huge, a loss for them. So I think it's pretty defined now, their needs. You thought they might have had defensive line. Everyone had them penciled in for Jeffrey Simmons for a while going in the first round. Sheldon Richardson solves that. Maybe an edge rusher. Olivier Vernon solves that. So probably those two positions off the board. Now it's either somewhere on the back end in round 2 when they finally are up on the clock, cornerback, safety. That's where their biggest needs are at the moment because offense looks fine. Defense, the back end, the secondary is where any question marks you could point out on that roster lie right now.
Yeah, so I'm all about the safety position or the cornerback position because and this matches up well. We've talked about this before. I think the way college football is trending now, because there's so many spread offenses, there's just a big, wide variety of wide receivers, corners, and safeties that are entering the NFL every year that it ends up loading the second and third rounds with potential talent. Plus, the NFL is they always take lesser players a little bit higher because the NFL is not perfect. So I always think that there's good corner and safety value in the second and third round. So just using our board as an example, a guy like Julian Love from Notre Dame could be available there. A guy like Darnell Savage from Maryland could be there at safety. Amani Hooker from Iowa. Juan Thornhill from Virginia.
Amani Hooker, I feel like, would be perfect for that defense in terms of what he brings to the table. Very similar skill set to Jabril Peppers.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you can replace that box safety with some coverage ability in the second round. You can maybe grab one of those corners. Rock Yassin maybe from Temple could be available there. Jamel Dean from Auburn could be there. So we're just, if you're talking about this roster construction for the Browns, I do think the revamp of the defensive line is just fantastic. That has helped already a ton. They've got plenty of weapons for Baker Mayfield. The offensive line is still in pretty good shape. I mean, the other thing that they could do is say we've got Greg Robinson on a 1-year deal, and he's Greg Robinson, and we need to upgrade at tackle. So that's the other place where maybe one of the like a Greg Little, who's kind of a fringe first-round type of player, could be available in the second round out of Ole Miss. You might try to develop him. That's maybe the other way I think the Browns could potentially go, but I see them going defense in the secondary. Yeah,
defense just to me makes the most sense. Offensive line I could see, but secondary is where the need lies right now. But I will not completely take off defensive line off the board for that first pick because what you saw happen last year, Myles Garrett, Larry Ogunjobi play among the most snaps of any defensive lineman in the NFL. The depth there, while you have two more quality starters, the depth behind them still seriously lacking. You need to give those guys breathers. If you're in this for the long term, if you're going to be playing, if you have Super Bowl aspirations, you can't ask those guys, all 4 stars, to play 1,000 snaps and then a 3-game run in the playoffs, a 4-game run in the playoffs, whatever it may be. So you need to get them breathers. You need to have some talent there to roll in, get a rotation going on that defensive line.
Yes, definitely a few different options for the Browns, but we always discuss the theory of, you kind of fill your needs in free agency and then you go into the draft, hopefully with fewer needs and you just grab the best players. It's not that the Browns are need-free, but they've secured a lot of their needs in free agency and through these big trades with the Giants.
Yeah, they added about as much talent as you possibly could, probably more than anyone else over this course of this free agent period. Didn't hit every single need, but I think they're competent enough at the positions they didn't hit to where they've made no one position a must draft in this upcoming draft.